Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in. This is your number one destination for World Cup 2026 match breakdowns and highlights. So hit that subscribe button right now and let's get into it, because we have one of the most dramatic, most emotional, most controversial finishes in World Cup knockout history to break down from Toronto, Canada. Portugal defeated Croatia 2-1 in a breathless round of 32 clash at BMO Field. Ivan Perisic gave Croatia a stunning second-half lead in the 53rd minute. Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest goalscorer in the history of international football, dragged Portugal level from the penalty spot in the 68th minute for the first World Cup knockout goal of his entire legendary career. And then substitute Goncalo Ramos powered a stoppage-time header into the net in the 94th minute to seal it. And then, as if the drama was not already enough, Josko Gvardiol prodded what appeared to be a 106th-minute equalizer only for VAR to rule it out for the most agonizing, most heartbreaking offside call imaginable. Portugal 2, Croatia 1. Ronaldo made history. Ramos was the hero. And Croatia's World Cup journey is over. Let's break it all down. Before we get into the goals and the chaos, let's understand exactly what this match meant to both nations. Portugal, Group K runners-up, 5 points from 3 games, arrived in Toronto knowing that this was potentially the greatest opportunity remaining in Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup career. The 41-year-old legend, yes, 41 years old and still starting at a World Cup, had never in his extraordinary international career scored a goal in the knockout stages of this tournament. 9 World Cup knockout matches, 0 goals. For the man who has scored more international goals than any human being in the history of the game, that was the one record that haunted him, the one missing chapter in an otherwise flawless career. This was potentially his last chance to write it. And Roberto Martinez had built a squad of genuine quality around him. Bruno Fernandes pulling strings in midfield, Rafael Leo threatening down the left, Diogo Costa solid between the posts, and Goncalo Ramos waiting on the bench with the pace and finishing ability to come on and change any game. Croatia, on the other hand, arrived in Toronto as one of the most experienced sides in European football. Luka Modric, at 40 years old, still commanding the midfield with the elegance and intelligence that has defined his entire legendary career. Ivan Perisic, still a constant physical threat on the left, and Dominik Livakovic. The first half was a completely one-sided affair on paper. Portugal had 55% of the ball and countless chances, with Bruno Fernandes twice forced into double saves by a brilliant Livakovic, Renato Veiga heading over unmarked from a Nuno Mendes corner, and Ronaldo himself failing to turn in João Cancelo's swerving cross when the goal was at his mercy. Croatia could barely get out of their own half, and their only chance of note saw Andy Butemer head over the bar. But the scoreline remained goalless at halftime despite all of Portugal's pressure. And as the cliché goes, if you do not score when you are on top, you get punished. And Croatia punished Portugal in spectacular fashion. Minute 53. Ivan Perisic, the veteran Croatian winger, still one of the most dangerous wide players at this entire tournament, picked up the ball on the left side of the Portugal penalty area after Croatia broke forward with real pace and lashed a low, precise strike across the face of goal and into the bottom right corner past a helpless Diogo Costa. 1-0 Croatia. Toronto erupted for the Croatian supporters. Perisic screamed with joy. Luka Modric, his great friend and captain, charged across the pitch to embrace him. 3 minutes later, Croatia thought they had doubled their lead when Matanovic turned in a low cross from Pasalic, but VAR ruled Pasalic offside, and the goal was correctly disallowed. But still Croatia led, and Portugal were rattled. And then came the 68th minute and the moment that Cristiano Ronaldo and every Portuguese football supporter had waited a lifetime for. Nikola Vlasic inexplicably wrestled Renato Veiga to the ground inside the Croatian penalty box from a corner. The referee pointed to the spot immediately after a VAR review confirmed the penalty. And up stepped Ronaldo. The crowd inside BMO Field fell almost silent. The greatest international scorer in history. 41 years old. The first World Cup knockout penalty of his entire career. He placed the ball, stepped back, took his run, and fired the ball straight and hard down the middle. Livakovic guessed right, but the power was too much. 1-1. Ronaldo. The 41-year-old veteran sprinted away with his arms wide open, the famous SIUU celebration echoing around Toronto as his teammates mobbed him from all directions. It was only the first World Cup knockout goal of his career, and it arrived at the most perfect, most dramatic possible moment. Portugal pushed for a winner as the match wore on. Rafael Leo thudded a long-range effort against the crossbar. Vega headed wide, unmarked from another corner. Croatia held firm, and it looked like extra time was inevitable, until the 94th minute. Martinez made the decisive substitution. On came Goncalo Ramos, fresh and hungry. And within seconds of entering the pitch, Leo whipped a cross from the left and Ramos, rising above the entire Croatian defense, powered a header into the back of the net. 2-1 Portugal. Stoppage time winner. Toronto went absolutely wild with Portuguese celebration. And then, in what were genuinely the most dramatic 12 minutes of this entire tournament, Croatia threw everything forward. Gvardiol prodded the ball home in the 106th minute, and Croatia's players celebrated wildly, before VAR ruled Matanovic had been fractionally offside in the build-up. The goal was chalked off. The final whistle came. Portugal held on. Full time, Portugal 2, Croatia 1. And what a night of football history it was. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his first ever World Cup knockout goal at the age of 41, a moment that will live forever in the history of this sport. Goncalo Ramos came off the bench and delivered once again as the perfect impact substitute. And Portugal march on to face Spain in the Dallas round of 16 on Monday, the Iberian Derby. For Croatia, Luka Modric, Ivan Perisic, Mateo Kovacic, some of the most decorated players in Croatian history leave this World Cup having given absolutely everything one final time. The Gvardiol disallowed goal will haunt them forever, but Portugal were magnificent when it mattered most. The 2026 World Cup round of 16 is coming, and it is going to be absolutely electric. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, share this video with all your football-loving friends, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our World Cup content. I will see you in the next one. Let's go.